What's yours? On the chat with UK and friends. Don't ask me what I bring to the table. I'm the whole damn table.
All laugh, all me, all shake, all like that you said.
Welcome to another episode of The Chat with UK and Friends. Today I'm excited because we're with the girls outnumbered. Why are you hating?
Did I say anything?
Yeah, your face is
yeah, it's like, because I'm the only guy, you know, just like decide for yourself.
You can walk off like you did that.
And
we should go have a blast.
Might as well. You want me to leave you and have a conversation?
I'll go sit down, Jared. I'm having you there.
Wow. All these things.
Sorry, we came out with the violence.
All these things I do for you?
Please, before you start into the whole world, what did you do for me?
Say, Lord, this setup.
Okay, before he gives himself his roses, let's get back to the chat with you guys.
Yes, I'm so excited. Finally, we get to see. It's no more single. We got the doubles in the house.
Yeah, they're different people. Yes, we are.
No, we just Photoshop that, like CGI.
I feel like they've seen a lot of you guys, and they don't know which one they'll be seeing. Like,
it's a stunt double.
Like this stunt double. We just put a face.
I'm so good to have you guys here. But as always, before we get started, we're just going to introduce ourselves. I feel like I'm always going to go in this way, so we're going to go this way this time around.
Y'all already know who it is. Christopher in the cut. And if you are new here, welcome to the Chat with UK. And if you already know who it is,
Period.
that's all I'm going to say. We are right there.
Okay, you already know what it is. It's your girl. It don't sit I need to when you put me ID, or also known as Baddie.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm just shaking.
He feels so defeated.
I'm not defeated. Woo.
Why? So why? What is?
No, it's just like, sometimes you don't always have to introduce yourself in a certain way. It's like people see your face and just like,
we don't care.
She gets it. Well, you see that? That's what you actually. I just make people laugh. That's just so it is.
I ain't laughing.
Whatever. I don't care. I'm not sent to everybody. That's okay. Yeah, I'm just sharing that side. You don't.
Okay, we'll take him as is. Then to my left.
Y'all know what it is. It's your girl Paula, aka E-Money, aka Erica Royal. You can find me on Instagram.
What is E-Money? I don't get it.
E-Money, because Erica and I got the bands, baby. You know, I do cosmetology among other things because I'm a jack of all trades. You can find me on Instagram at Erica Royal, Glam by Ari nailed it, and Restyles. I can say more about stuff right there.
Sheesh.
I can lie, it's a business.
Go ahead.
It's a business.
Alright, last but not the least.
My name is Glory. I'm so happy to be back on the show.
Yeah, she invited herself over, so you're gonna do it dance because she said, "So that's how she invited herself." And like she's dressed for it, like she's about to give us
But I am a senior nursing student graduating in the fall.
Woo! She's about to make her parents proud.
Yeah.
And make their bank accounts proud. And of course, like she said, make herself proud. It's not easy. Like, come on.
Because she did all that work.
Alright, y'all. I'm so excited to have you in the house. I'm excited for you too, because I feel like everybody can now finally see that we're not joking.
It's not Photoshop. This is my real face. I didn't do it on.
Who knows? You glued it on here, she glued it on there.
Maybe I need money and maybe she's Chris.
I'll ask the real person. Let's Scooby-Doo.
Alright, y'all. So today we are going to be talking about drum rolls. Is age a factor in a relationship? Look at them now. What do you all think? I'll start with you, Shige. See, nothing left out. Excuse me, me complaining, but it's
I don't
okay.
complain. I just say things out of the head.
Okay, answer the question.
Can I switch it with someone?
Nope.
Chloe, I think we'll be better off if we stay next to each other. Because she's been doing too much for the past couple of episodes. It's just like, why are you attacking me?
It's all love.
It's
Yeah,
not
exactly.
like
And he loves it. He's just doing all this.
Yeah,
I
can you
don't,
imagine being
I
in the
don't,
midst of
I
five
don't.
beautiful
See, don't let
ladies?
anyone
Like,
don't
come on.
know. Well, I mean, you are beautiful, man. Without a doubt. You got really beautiful. I'm really blessed and lucky to be in the presence of wonderful women like this.
I expect that. It's like story.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm blessed to be in the presence of wonderful women. I don't know about
Yeah, I don't
I don't know
know
about
that.
wonderful women.
He's like, I'm gonna get you. Just continue. But
All
let's
right.
go.
Oh, what was the question again?
It's age.
Maybe fucking even I tried to answer him.
Appreciate it, Chris. I appreciate it.
Please, we can have another word or words.
You
when
give
we get
someone
this.
else? I would come back to this a little bit. Actually.
Come back.
All right, age. I don't
Baby,
think
come back. Come down.
Alright.
just come back to me. Come back to me.
Okay. So, who else want to tackle this?
Honestly, I feel like age is not necessarily a factor depending on how old you are. It's a factor if it's like a teenager and a young adult. But I feel like once you're past a certain age, like maybe 25, then it's not really a factor. Because, you see a lot of people who are 8 years older than their spouse and they have like a great marriage. You see relationships where the wife is older than the husband, things like that. And like, it's at that point because they're both mature enough to handle the relationship and they both know themselves. It's like, if I love you, I love you. I don't care how old you are. So I feel like age is not a factor, but it depends on the age.
So is it a mental thing?
Oh yeah,
When it
for
comes to
sure.
maturity.
Maturity is a big factor in the age. Definitely when it comes to, crimes like pedophilia, then age is definitely a factor. But even in maturity, because like you could have a woman that's already there, she knows what she wants to be in life, she knows where she's going, she knows the type of person she wants to be with. You could have a guy who necessarily he's still playing the field. So their maturity level is different, and if their age gap is different as well, that's only gonna add on to stress in the relationship, arguments, it's gonna be toxic, it's not gonna work. So age can be a factor, not just because of the age gap and being older or younger than somebody, but because of the maturity of that person.
So let's bring it to group chat. So can you date someone who's 5 years younger than you?
Oh.
Me personally, no. I have to date somebody older.
He has to be older than
That's
you?
for me.
Yeah.
Personally, I want somebody who's within 2 to 4 years older than me. But even 2 years kind of feels too close. Because a lot of the people who I know that are my age are not, on my mentality level or are
Wait, what is mentality?
A lot of times, I feel like this person is more of my son. I feel like a mom.
Whoa.
And I'm ready to leave
You
my
said
child.
go on.
I want to feel like a mom to my man. I want to feel like a wife, a spouse to my man. Of course, you're gonna take care, and I'm like a mother. Mother take care. So you take care of me. But I don't want to be nobody's mama. I want to be my children's mom, not my man's mom.
Yeah.
So 2 to 4 years is
So age is definitely a factor.
6 years is still.
That's
depends.
that's what you
I
said.
would
Age
never
is
think, but
definitely
it
a
would
factor.
depend.
But that means age is definitely a factor because you just said you have a restriction on who you can date. You're not
She
gonna
didn't say she has a
Are you
restriction.
saying, okay, so the way I understand the question is age a factor? If somebody is older than you, is that a factor to you?
I don't know. I
Is
think
that-
we should define it first before we even dive
Yeah,
into the
'cause I'm
conversation.
thinking-
What do you mean by
It's always different for each person. Your reasoning for wanting to date someone older or younger, it depends on you, what your taste is or what your mental state is. Because for me, I can't. And it's a mental thing for me. I can't date someone who is younger or the same age as me because I feel like I'm gonna disrespect you. I'm like, if I said, I'm like, stop, sit down there. I feel I'm gonna disrespect you. That's how I
You
feel.
don't think it's cultural as well?
It might be, but I'm used to that. Like, I can't date someone younger than me. I don't mind an older person. And also, maybe that could be
Yeah.
how I was brought up in culture.
Sure.
Yeah.
I also think like, for example, like hypothetically speaking, if somebody who was 40 wanted to be somebody who was 25, you know, that's legal, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like you also have to understand the person and the experience that they had in life so far. For example, like the 40-year-old is most likely going to be has experienced more things in life, more stable. The 25-year-old may still want to be living that life that you know. So like, if you really do want to be together, like you have to know where each other's at. And y'all love each other, y'all gotta make it work somehow. That's two different like stages of life.
What I was gonna say was that even what you're saying that you feel like the person is your son or what, right? I feel like there's some people who are young but are very mature that you don't even pay attention to the fact that they're younger than you. Just the way when they open your mouth, you're like, what?
Yeah.
That age?
Mm-hmm.
Like the age didn't even come. It gets to a point where
Right.
you're like, wait, how old are you
Yeah.
again? You know. So if you do find something like that, I mean, please don't let the age be a barrier. Like actually, pursue that person or continue. But I would say but I personally like people who are older. But if I do see someone with the right sense of mind, stable at a younger age, I don't mind.
So do you think it also, quote unquote, depends on it varies with gender as well? Or is it? Because everyone here just said, everyone here just said mostly they're inclined to date themselves older. And so do you think it's mostly because of gender?
No, I know guys who like the women older too. So I don't think it's a necessity that the woman has to be younger. It's not a necessity. Some guys do genuinely like women older than them. So yeah, it's not a necessity.
I think what I want to understand also, let's say, for example, a 70-year-old man chooses to go get married to a 25-year-old lady.
He wants something to make him feel young.
No, but the thing is though, like, he's older, right? But most people in society have an issue with that. And their issue is different. Let's say it was a woman, a 70-year-old woman, now getting married to a 25-year-old guy. So I feel like it's just different. It's just different. So you will have an issue with a 70-year-old guy. You will have an issue with the guy, but you have with the lady, say she's a gold digger. So if the lady is 70 and trying to get married to a 25-year-old, you're gonna have an issue with the younger person because you feel like they're not actually genuinely, because you can't fathom why a 25-year-old person would want to date or marry a 70-year-old person. So your mind immediately goes to, you're there for the money. Because that's what everybody goes to, money, money, money. But do you actually think that it could be love?
I mean, I feel like some people have just tried dating people like around their ages, and like they're like, I just give up. Like I gotta go to the old folks.
Right.
Do you think it's also, because here's the thing, for most guys, when you're early 25, 25, like 20s, 25, 30s, that's when you actually get into yourself, right? You're already figuring out what you want. Because for most guys, if they don't know who they are as people, it's really difficult for them to direct their attention on that. So I feel like sometimes women like to date people who are older because they already discovered what they're doing.
And what they want, There's no play
and then
games.
now they have enough time to, interact with you. Do you think that's also has a fit in that too?
Okay. So with the question, I think that most people do like older men because they are stable. Because you don't want to go, even if I know not everybody might have had their stuff figured out. Even with the people who chase the older people might not have their stuff figured out, but they want to have somebody that they can kind of depend on. Because if it's okay, if I don't got something going on with me, I know there's somebody that can hold the house down. That is stable, that is planted in something. So I feel like that's why most people definitely go for older than that.
So it doesn't matter, guys or girls.
It doesn't matter. Some men too, who are still like the entrepreneurs and stuff like that, that are still like, grinding and stuff. They might want to have an older woman or even a younger.
Right. It's not typically the case. I think most guys not really concerned about someone else, the other partner's financial situation. And so I think most of the time it's mostly how does the person make you feel. And so whether the person's older or younger, so people don't usually take people who are like 10 years younger or whatever, it's because they, there's this quote, this lady is like, she's in between the no, and then you just like trying to match up that energy and make you feel younger. You could give you someone younger as well. So I think that's just the balance. I feel, whether we like it or not, it also has a play, in the relationship. However, whether it's older or younger, because there's certain limitations we can go when it comes to like society, and there's certain things that it just wants to do. But I don't mind people older than me. I don't mind people younger than me. Maybe just a few years older, probably a year or 2 months.
Everyone is looking for sugar mommy.
I'm not, no, that's not what I'm looking for someone to take care of me. It's okay.
Sugar mommy.
I just want to do free money. I just want free money.
Sugar mommy.
I mean, I wouldn't mind some free money.
To pay some of that college tuition.
You feel me? I don't know. Is there a limit for you guys in terms of age bracket?
I'm not gonna lie, that's 70, 25.
Like I give myself my dad is between my parents is a 10-year gap, right? So I always said that if I was to go any further, that's the cap. 10 years.
Yeah, that's
older.
But years is big now. So let's think about it, right? Say you're 25 and you're 35. A 10-year gap right now is a lot. Because a 35-year-old has dealt with so many things that's stuck in the ways. You're 25, you're still exploring the world. I think for most ladies or most people, 5 years is probably the limit, because when you start going 10 years over, you guys are experiencing 2 different things.
Yeah.
And so it's usually very difficult to find that.
Yeah, that's my cap. Like I don't mind between the 4 or 5 years age gap, but like that's the cap of what I'm willing to accept.
What usually goes in my head with stuff like that? I'm like, okay, we're 10 years apart. So this person was 10 years old when my mom just gave birth.
No, I don't think of it like that.
No, that's what we go around. This person was 7 when he just gave birth.
Like imagine dating a 70-year-old person and you were like 25. You're like.
So they were like, what? When they just gave birth to me, like,
sheesh, 2 times over.
That's only going through my head. I'm like, oh my god, yeah.
What about you, Jessica?
I'll definitely cap it at 10. And that's not saying that I want somebody that's 10 years older. But I'm saying if that's who God sends my way, I'm like, can you please at least cap it at 10? That's just for me.
Okay, so
I mean, personally, if the person is younger than me, it would just have to be a God thing at that point. It would really have to, because I'm sorry.
God thing. God is not gonna be like
that is who God said this is your husband, and I'm like, but God.
Why would God give you what you're not interested in?
Why are you questioning God?
You never know why God does the things that He do.
Exactly.
So
and what you want
it would
might not
just
be the
really
right thing.
Exactly. If I'm saying God, I want somebody 4 years older than me, he's like, I got somebody 3 years younger than you.
And
But
you
it's still-
have
but
to
it's still your decision though. If you choose to be,
If God said it,
Are you trying to
we're not gonna get into that. What? We're not gonna get into that. Just what I feel, right? Is this is my own personal belief that God presents everybody with us, whether it's old or young, and there are certain things that we find in common with different people that is not actually going to say do this, because then if you say it's God and something goes wrong, you're gonna blame it on him. I mean, it's not his fault. So that's why you you don't think so?
I feel like everybody keeps it's just I feel like a cop out. So I'm sorry. Because what is bad? Everybody keeps saying, well, God's not gonna come down and show you who your husband or your wife is. Yes, we get that. But you can't tell me that God still can't speak and say, this is the person I want you to marry.
This is the difference though. She's saying she's probably the likelihood that she's gonna be with someone who's younger.
You go
It's
say
probably
so.
wait. It's probably 90% less that likelihood. She's probably 90% of the time she's not gonna be able to do that. And that's if God does do that, it just means we get away with this. It means that God is subverting our way. Because
No, not exactly. Sometimes
It's always gonna be God's will over your will. I mean, I'm just saying. I want somebody with
All right.
6 pack, a
Exactly.
body, and everything. Like if God says that's not what's for you,
All
you're
right.
gonna get somebody skinny. I'm gonna take the skinny.
Okay.
Okay?
Because God said
It's not my will, it's God's will.
He knows I'm not arguing a bunch of ladies.
No, because that's God.
You know what? I'm not really gonna
If he says
say-
you're gonna marry somebody for 11, guess what? I'm gonna marry him. I mean God, but like
Anyway, I'm not gonna argue it too much.
I think that's another conversation
No,
on the
no,
time
it is
when
another
we go
conversation.
into the
But
God,
I
the
know,
God
I
factor.
know it is another conversation, but I do understand where you guys are coming from, right? Where, there's certain things that comes with, knowing someone is for you, right? But here's my own thing is, if you know for 100% that you're probably not going to be with somebody, almost 100%, 90% is a huge guarantee. It almost feels like, so let's put it in this.
No, but those are
Let's put it in
it's
this
almost like
context,
those
right?
are material things.
No, but let's put it in this
Because
context.
it's-
Wait. Let's put it in
it's
this
trivial.
context, right? Let's put it in this context, right? So I'm the parent, right? And Paula is a child. And Paula is just like 90% she's not gonna take this thing. And I'm the parent, and I'm like, you gotta take this person. This person is good for you. But wait, I'm just gonna stop it right there.
I feel like we're already getting to the point of deciding for God. No, because for example, like say I don't want to ever marry a pastor, and then God brings a pastor my way. Are you telling me He's not taking my wish into consideration?
No, that's another thing. It's not. I think it's more so of the person as opposed to the.
No, because what I'm trying to get you to understand is sometimes we make plans or we have things in our head that, this is what I want, this is what I don't want. But not always the person you end up with.
But,
Because if you end up with someone that's the complete opposite of everything that you have said. So you're saying that, why should you have to marry that person?
exactly. And God has even said in His Word, the plans I have for you are good and not
Not
evil.
evil. It's not going to give you something that goes
to
to
the
the
pastor, and you don't want a pastor. Guess what? That pastor has every quality
that you need. Exactly.
If you say I'm never dating somebody that's what shorter than me or younger than me, but the younger person has every quality you need, he is. You are gonna marry that guy.
That person might be the person that changes your life.
But then
no.
It doesn't boil down to anything. It burns at God's will. That's it.
Period.
That's it.
Period.
That's it.
That's why even though I know like God is gonna send my husband, I'm still gonna be like, hey God, just take this into consideration.
I mean, we just
Exactly.
It doesn't take that away from having desires. Because sometimes we can say, I want this person that has money, that has this, that has that. And then maybe God has someone else for you, and then the person is not rich at that time or any of that stuff. And then you disobey and go marry this person who is rich. 3 years down the line, he loses everything. Never able to recover it. And then you start like, but God, I wanted someone that is rich. This is person that my phone, like, this is the person I gave you. But because you want what you want, but I know what's best for you.
Yeah.
So I'm giving you this because I know you. I'm seeing the end from the beginning. And this is what I know will work for you. And then you say, no, I want what I see right now, what my desires are right
if
now.
someone says welcome to you, I'll be like, okay, God told me that you're supposed to be my wife.
I don't have to believe that.
I
I don't have to believe that. Because if God told you, He can tell me.
So my question is, if that's the case, okay, we said that now. So in the other cases, someone. So are you saying God is actually going to say, this is the person you're supposed to marry, or do you want more to the person and you start seeing the quality of the person that possibly you didn't see before? Or how would it possibly work in that situation?
Let me tell you something, right? God is different for everybody, so
Right.
we can't really say.
Yes.
Because you might see somebody first, and in your mind God is already, you're like, that's my husband.
Yeah.
That's my husband. And guess what?
But
It might not happen.
into it.
It might not happen then and then, but down the line you get married, you be like, come to think of it, at some point I said, that was my husband, and look at it come true.
It works differently
Yeah.
for everybody. One works for her, will not work for you.
Exactly. And
Maybe God
everyone
did
else
not speak to you directly. Maybe he spoke to someone.
sign or
Oh
something.
yeah, or you got a sign. And then to her, in her dream, God is showing her,
So-
this is the person you're going to marry.
Either way, whether God brings the person
Or not.
she's still going to be attracted to the person at some point.
Okay, with
I
attraction, let me
I
tell you
actually have
something.
something to say about that.
No,
There's actually a sister in church that told me and my sister that she didn't fall in love with her husband until like years after they got married. But the reason that she married her husband was because of like, that confirmation from God. And it's like, let's say God sends me my husband, I'm like, God, I'm not really feeling this dude. And even after I get married to him, God, I'm not really feeling this dude. It's going to come because at the end of the day, God knows what he's doing. So, you might not fall for that person right away, but that's why it's just like, if you 100% put your trust in God, he's literally never gonna.
And besides, I feel like God uses everybody's journey to teach us certain things. What her experiences might not even be teaching her, but might be teaching somebody else. And my experiences might be teaching her something, or I'm supposed to learn something from my own experiences and stuff like that. So we can't put the things that God does in a box and think I say,
You just made this from age to
no, but that's the thing. You can't just put everything that God does in one box. Because I hear this a lot. God will not come down and say, this is your husband, this is your wife. Yes, I get that. But I'm telling you, he still speaks. He can tell you directly, this is the person I want you to marry. And it's up to you because at the end of the day, you have free will. It's not going to force you. But sometimes he can force you because there is something he's doing in that moment. You said girl can't force me?
I'm not going to say
You were about to say he can't force me.
He can, but he can. But we're just gonna leave it like that. Because if he could, it would stop a lot.
Yeah, he
Stop a lot of
could.
things from
He's
happening.
God at the end of the day.
Yeah, but he won't subvert our will though. That's
No. He will always do what's best for us, regardless of how we feel. I'm just saying, I'm not saying God's the kind of person that is just like, no, it's my way, not your way. At the end of the day, sometimes he can let you continue having that mindset and just go through certain things until you learn from it.
But it's still okay. All right. You still didn't subvert your will. That's all I need.
No. I mean, I think I said it's different for
Why do you want
everybody,
your
for
will?
everything.
Why do you want your will?
It's not about no.
I mean, at the end of the day, you should be saying, God, your will, not my will.
Yeah, yes, the principle though. God has whatever He has planned for everyone, right? You can, He has all that planned for you, but He can't force you to do what He has planned for you because that's not how God operates, right? Because whether we like it or not, no matter
Because
how
that's
much,
when you go putting God in a box.
that's not putting God in a box though.
That's what I
Okay, so
feel.
you think, okay, let's
It's
not.
as if you figured God out.
I'm
Yeah.
not figuring out.
That's a
No,
different way.
that's not.
What he does
You
today,
get
he
it.
won't do
But
it tomorrow.
You getting me wrong, right? That's not what I'm saying. I'm not putting God in the box. I'm just saying God wants the best for us, right? But you cannot insist on us having what you cannot insist on us doing the best, whatever He wants for us, except we actually take responsibility for it, for accepting His will and actually doing His will. It won't force us to do His will.
I get that. It's not. But I also feel like everything is different with everybody.
Right.
And the way God works and deals with certain people is different. It's different. I could just put it like, take for example the case of Jonah in the Bible. Like God sent him somewhere to go do something, to go preach and deliver a city, but he refused. Why? Because he knew that if he preaches to them, they would turn from their wicked ways and come to God. Because he knew the heart of God, that's just who God is. That's how great and amazing He is. Like you come to Him, it's not going to turn you away. But he refused. He refused to do the will of God because he was just so stubborn. But God's will was still done.
But He still decided to do it.
Yeah.
But it's fine.
It's
fine. We expressed everything. If we didn't do it with all the experiences, right? there won't still have been any. You have to still decide to do it. Although you did go through all that, you have to still find a way to bring all that to convince him to do otherwise, right?
I'll say this. I can't say you're wrong. I can't say we're any right or neither. But I can only say that the will of God will be done, regardless.
And it's always going to be better than our will.
Exactly. That's it at the end of the day.
Even if you follow your will, good for you.
Yeah.
But if you had followed the will of God, things could have been 100 times better.
Definitely.
Yeah, so that's just what it is. You have the free will, the freedom of choice to follow your will. Nobody's saying don't choose who you want to be with.
Mm-hmm.
But we're just saying, for
You
me,
said, I got you. I know
me,
better.
I'm going to say yes to God.
Regardless of how uncomfortable it makes me feel. Not because I feel my will is better or I should be able to do whatever it is that I want, but because I have known this person, I have trusted this person, I have tried this person, and I know that this person will not lead me astray, and that's final. I don't mind crying over somebody or being heartbroken about certain things, but at the end of the day, I'm going to get to a point where I'm like, God, I know you have the best for me, so I'm choosing to trust you against my will, because your will should reign supreme.
And even when you follow your will, at the end of the road, there is going to be an obstacle, I can guarantee you, 99% of the time, because that wasn't God's will. There is going to be hurdles, obstacles, and you're like, God, why is this happening? Why are you asking God? You didn't follow his will. He's just letting you do you, so why are you asking him? At the end of the day, it's easier to just go with what God has for you. It's way easier. For me in my house, I'm going with God. It's just way easier.
And I just feel this went from a relationship topic to a bad topic. It was not what we intended. But hey, right here is unscripted and raw, unfiltered, and however it goes, it goes. Sorry y'all, but we just had to. We just had to.
God was in here today.
I'm telling you.
But I still feel like with all that being said, it did answer the question. How so? I feel like at the end of the day, when you put God in it, age is not a factor. Nothing is a factor. So that answers the question.
It's funny you say that, because also besides the fact of me feeling I'm going to disrespect whoever is younger than me, I've always had this little thing at the back of my mind, like, is it scriptural or is it not? I mean, it's not exactly written in black and white, like, hey, you cannot date or marry anyone younger than you. But sometimes I just have that. You know, there's some things that the Bible is in the Bible. There's the things that are not in the Bible, and then you just have to use your own intuition and wisdom of God to navigate through those issues. So I'm like, is it actually the right thing to do or not? So I'm actually wrestling with that, if dating someone younger was actually approved by God. It's just like saying you can't drink alcohol. It doesn't explicitly say it in the Bible. You cannot drink alcohol or any of that. Exactly. So it's just wisdom in how we move in those things. So.
And even with the scriptures in the Bible, it depends on how. I can talk about God forever. Even with the scriptures, right? It depends, because a scripture shall say, "Thou shalt not lie," but that's not what. Okay, it says, "Thou shalt not lie" to me, but that's not what a person would read in there. It'll say, "Thou shalt not lie," but it might speak to something like, you shouldn't lie in this and this. Like, there's different convictions for every scripture. Don't just take your own belief and force it down on somebody else. Like, yeah, this is what I got from this, and that's from this. So it's like, when you read the scripture, I always pray before I read the scripture. So when you read a scripture, whatever you understand from that, that's for your personal life. Your personal life. It's not for any other person. If you feel, just like people who say, oh, it says in the Bible not to wear like pants or jewelry. That's for you. Maybe you were adorning the pants. You were making it an idol and stuff. That's why that conviction came to you that don't wear pants and stuff. That doesn't mean, okay, I wear pants. Doesn't mean I adore it. Like, okay, if I don't wear pants, I'm not going out the house. You know, it's for every single person. So we shouldn't force our own beliefs on other people.
And I feel that's important, because that's what keeps you grounded. And like, going back to the "thou shalt not lie" thing, to me, my definition of lying, if you withhold the truth, that's considerably lying to me. So as a person, I would not want to do that to somebody else, and that's where I stay firm and grounded. So if that's what I believe, I have to be accountable to act in that way,
So
not
you-
just somebody acting that way to me.
You think I'm good looking?
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't ask Heidi. Don't ask Heidi.
Of course I'm not.
I didn't say nobody else.
No,
We
we
don't
don't.
need nobody else.
How is my conviction on that?
Oh my goodness! I feel like we just went to church, y'all.
I mean,
Like we really went to church.
We are.
she had a service on these channels.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, like we always say, the conversation doesn't end here. We want to hear your thoughts, your opinions, and everything that has been discussed here in the comment section. So comment. But also don't forget to like, share,
Subscribe.
share. All right, y'all. This has been fun. I had a blast. I really did.
Yeah.
I did not expect the conversation to go this strong. And it all became because of Shaggy.
It was a question I was trying,
This is very educational.
Very
True.
And ourselves too.
As always, this has been fun. And this has been the chat with UK and
Right.
Stay blessed. We'll see y'all next time. Bye y'all.
Bye.